Well, Strofe, did your mother-in-law appreciate you slipping it in? How did she react? Positively?
I am sad to report, Jimmy, I did not slip it in. After that debacle, there was no way I was doing it.
Did that debacle make its way?
And by that you mean call her mom.
Correct, yes. No, that debacle did not get explained. As many Coors Lights as I had this weekend, and as much as I wanted to tell everybody about that, I couldn't do it. Couldn't muster up the courage.
What happens if your significant other is at school today and is brought up? Because it happened late on Friday. It could hit her world around this time.
As far as I'm aware, she still is not aware of that. I will probably explain it to her tonight.
Yeah, you should, because it could make it its ways into her bandwidth. That's all I'm saying. So, Alex Strofe, now that you played that in the open, I was going to let it die. You gotta let's rehash Friday afternoon going into Mother's Day, where we ask people, do you call your mom mother, or do you call your mother-in-law mom? Matt, I guess once in a while, maybe a ma.
Yeah.
In general,
that'll happen occasionally.
My wife doesn't refer to she hopped on and said Happy Mother's Day to my mom, but does not call her.
Right.
Mom calls her Judy. And then we had, I think 80% of our listeners said no, they don't call their mother-in-law mom or father-in-law dad. But Alex decided he had to be a part of the conversation on Friday, felt left out, and this was how he jumped in.
But my girlfriend of 3.5 years, her mom is staying by us this weekend. Should I slip it in once and see the reaction?
Yes, please do.
Oh my gosh, please phrase that better.
Yeah, that was rough.
I thought after simmering on it for a weekend, it would not hit as hard, but it is still just as poorly phrased as I thought it was
almost like a fine wine gets the opposite of a fine wine gets worse over time. There, Matt, how was your Mother's Day?
Mother's Day was it was good. Hung out with Grandma and Mom. My aunt and my cousins were there, and I grilled some burgers up. It was pretty good, pretty low key. Kind of a low key weekend in general. The weather wasn't great, so it was just kind of got some stuff done around the house. Did some grocery shopping. It was literally a pretty boring, super average weekend.
I had left something here at the office, so I brought the kids around on Saturday after Nola had horse camp and other things, and they wanted to be helpful. They filled up the beer fridge here.
I noticed that.
You can thank them for that. But Alex, I'd also like to point out is you can look here at we are in the Spark building, and you can see, maybe on camera, maybe not, but in the corner here, there's a bunch of water wrappers on the floor. Now, the girls properly put away the cardboard boxes for what they stocked the fridge with, but Matt decided to throw some water into the fridge as well, and the trash is on the floor here. So I would like to point out that you are less of someone who cleans up after themselves than my 10 and 6-year-old.
Daughters.
Well,
yes.
Boys or girls. It would actually be more acceptable, I guess, if it was a boy. I feel like boys are just sloppier in general.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, so you're saying an old man,
old 34-year-old man is still not as clean as a 11-year-old. Yes.
So I too had a low key weekend on. Now this is what a dork I am. I had texted my wife on Friday like, "Hey, can we watch Air?" Like it came out on Friday night. I want to watch Air, the movie with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck about Michael Jordan's shoe, the Air Jordan, the first one, the Nike story, and it came out on Prime on Friday. Could not recommend it more, whether you're a sneakerhead or not. In fact, my in-laws had seen it the weekend before just because they had heard good things about it. They are not sports fans. They are not shoe folks, and they loved the movie. They said it was absolutely amazing.
Nice.
It's really well done. I mean, Viola Davis, Ben Affleck, you have Matt Damon, Marlon Wayans, Chris Tucker, and I'm missing people. Everyone, top to bottom, crushed that movie. Really, Jason Bateman's in it too. Yeah. Really well done. It basically is a story of like a startup. Like if you like the idea of a business taking a big leap and making that leap and succeeding in the end, but all of the trials and tribulations in between,
right?
It's fun, and that's basically what the movie is. Just happens to be around Air Jordan shoes. Watch that one at home. So that's always nice. You have some pizza and you have Coors Light, and then you.
It seems like a movie that you're not missing out on the theater experience.
Right. And now, to be fair, I'm a big TV movie experience guy, so I have like surround sound, like nice. I bought like Bose speakers, surround sound.
Right.
I got the big TV up above as big as I can get above the fireplace. So I try to make it as much of an experience as I can. But to your point, yes, it is one that you don't need all the bells and whistles.
It's not like the Avatar movie. Like,
right.
If you watch that at your house on your 35-inch TV, you're doing the movie a disservice.
Right. And mine is about double that. But I'll say this.
Brag.
It is brag. Because here's the thing. I went and saw.
Like me.
I went and saw. It's funny you brought up the Avatar movie. I went and saw that one when it was in theaters, a newer one. And the theater we saw it at, I didn't even realize it. The screen was so bad. They haven't updated. A lot of these movie theaters just haven't done a lot to them since COVID that I thought they had changed the hue of the blue people, the Avatar people. No. It's just that screen was so, I guess, or
really?
light, whatever. It was off. It was just a slight change. Watched it at home, original blue. And so
interesting.
And I'm not bragging. Everyone can spend their money however they want. I just really like to watch movies and sports, and I like to have it as great as possible. So I update these things often.
Right.
That's just what I like. Everyone likes different things. So
do you prefer watching your movies at your house in the comfort of your home?
So here's the thing. We watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 on Saturday night because it was supposed to rain on Sunday. We were going to go to the zoo and all that, but the weather was bad. So my wife's like, I like the first one. I don't remember the second one. And but let's go. We'll see the third one. But let's watch the second one here with our youngest specifically, because my oldest likes the Guardians movies, to see if she was too scared to watch. So we watched it at home, had the sound up. She was fine watching it. So we said, you know what? We're going to go see it at the theater on Sunday.
Right.
So we went out and saw it at the theater. And because here's a couple things for
Hey,
it.
no spoilers. I'm going Wednesday.
Now, I should say, not for the movie. The movie, amazing. I highly recommend the movie. I don't know if I could pick a favorite between 1, 2, and 3. Soundtrack's on point. The emotional touch points are on point. The action's on point, all of that.
Okay.
But one part with the movie is that we booked them ahead of time, but we still ended up having to get seats we didn't necessarily want. We were kind of near the front row, so that was not what we wanted to do.
Right.
But it is what it is, just for the time frame. So you have to live within their world of the time frame. And then we get there, and it's just the theater, the parking lot is like potholed, and like they have never redrawn the lines, so the cars are very tight together.
Right.
And it's just like a choppy parking lot. So that part wasn't great. That's already annoying because it's rainy. You're stepping in potholes. Trucks bouncing in potholes. I don't love it. Every time I go there, I hate that part of it. They've closed like half of it. Like they used to have 2 or 3 popcorn things open, other bathrooms open. They've closed all that down over time.
Right.
The carpet's kind of been stained for years now. The bathroom, when I was in there, one of the employees was like, the soap on that one doesn't work. So they had one sink with working soap in the bathroom. And it's just not as nice as it used to be. Then we go sit down, reclining chairs. My chair doesn't recline. Not a big deal. I just switch seats with the 6-year-old. She can, she's little. She doesn't need to have it recline. But again, all things that I'm paying for in this experience.
Right.
And then I swear, no less than 7 previews. And I like previews. 7 previews was a bit much. So for me, the overall experience was it was fine, but They do all this stuff about go back to the movie theaters, go do all this. But I would say in the Madison area, most of the theaters I've gone to are just not as well kept, or not updated like they used to be, and they don't go out of their way to make the experience worthwhile. Like if I go, for example, you go to AmFam Field, you're paying more for everything, but it's nice, it's clean, it's the service is great, you're getting something unique. You go to a Mallards game, a Forward game, all these sorts of things. You go to a nice restaurant. They're all doing things to entice you to understand, yes, I'm paying more, but I'm paying for the experience.
Right.
The only experience I'm getting at this place is the screen, and that's why I brought up my screen at home and the sound. It's not dramatically different when I don't have to drive out in the rain. I can sit wherever I want. I can make not quite movie quality popcorn at home, but
the popcorn's unparalleled, right?
That's
honestly, we can agree there.
Yes, because my wife loves the popcorn there. That's honestly the only reason we even go to see movies out anymore. I can just wait. A lot of them make their way to some of the services. So 844-770-3776. Do you prefer to watch a movie at home or at the theater?
Well, let's rephrase that a little bit. Because I think the element of the theater is that you get to see it first. Where with if you rather watch a movie at home, you kind of have to wait until it hits the streaming services. What is it worth it more to you? Like, what do you prefer?
But I think that's all baked in. To make it simple for the Iron Jock, we can talk about it on the air, but for the Iron Jock poll question, do you prefer to watch a movie at the theater or at home? Because, yes, at the theater, you're in front of it. But, again, I think even...
There's like a handful of movies that I think I'd prefer... Like, I would go watch at the theater because I don't want to be behind.
True, but behind... And this is the other interesting part of it. Because there's so much saturation of good content. For example, I watched the show Succession. I don't think anyone in the office watches it but me, but it's an incredibly popular show. So the idea of the water cooler talk of,
right.
I don't want to be missing out. Everything is, because there's so much saturation of content, everything is kind of, you don't really get that anymore. Because you're not.
Interesting. So that's why you are content waiting.
Right, because, again, I watched Guardians. I didn't have to try that hard to avoid spoilers on it. Because in real life, nobody was going to bring it up, and I just would avoid the article. So I didn't have anything as far as a spoiler on it. I would recommend it along with Air. But I would say, for the most part, I've been underwhelmed at least the last 5 times I've gone to a theater. It's been fine, but then for the cost and the inconvenience, it's very much of, it doesn't make me want to go again.
Right.
Like, I've probably gone months in between. Because also, not a lot of movies jump out to me where I got to see the theater. Outside of, like, HBO's got its own movies or shows they put out there. Netflix does that are direct-to-consumer that are pretty dang good. So most of the time, I'm like, I'll just wait.
Yeah, my thing is, like, I travel a lot. Fortunately, a lot of these airlines update their, like, movie list. Thank goodness that they have this entertainment now. There's so much more than there ever used to be. But now I don't have to wait that long to get some of the most current movies. So I actually find myself waiting so I can watch some of these movies on planes and kill time.
844-770-3776. Do you prefer the theater or watching it at home? Where do you prefer to watch a movie? Brett and Eau Claire chimes in with theater. 844-770-3776. Where do you prefer? You're talking to a guy here. I loved going to the movie theaters. That was like my favorite thing to do. Definitely something that was easier for my wife and I to go out and do things. That was definitely high on my pick of things to do for a date night. I love the whole experience of it. I love the whole crowd and everyone laughing together and all of that. But there's just so many different factors to it. But I also think people become like less polite or aware. Like there was someone in the theater who had a child who was probably less than 5 because it sounded like a baby or very young child crying at times during the movie. It didn't get too bad, which was fine. But that person, if I was that person, I would have left with my kid when they were crying because it's not a plane and you're out, $12? So deal with it. You can't ruin everyone else's movie experience because you want to see this movie, your kids are upset. That is a pet peeve of mine.
Fair. That's a fair one.
Yeah, if your kid's crying at the theater, you just got to go, man.
Yeah, it's not like you're stuck 40,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, you screwed up. Like, you took a risk and you missed. Like, if I take my kids to a movie and they're scared during it and they're making noises or being loud or disruptive,
right,
all right, we got to go.
I mean, that's how, if me and Alex went to a movie and he started crying, I would definitely get up and leave the theater with him.
So I also want to know if, like, do you have movie-going, like rules? 844-770-3776.
He's shaking his head. I would, Strofe. If you got scared or upset at a movie, I'd walk out with you. To be generous to the rest of the people.
Why would I be crying at a movie theater?
Do you get...
I don't remember the last time I cried, to be honest with you.
Oh, cool guy, Alex Strofe.
Tough guy.
Well, no, and now that you're saying that, I'm like, I used to be an emotional child, for sure. But these days, I'm not very emotional. I'm emotionless.
Wow.
I think my heart's been broken too many times, Jimmy.
I definitely am more emotional now after I had kids. For whatever it was, it just clicked. I definitely, things get me a little bit more. Guardians got me a little choked up at times, but that's not uncommon. I'm not giving anything away. I would say
be careful.
The other 2 movies also have moments in it.
100%.
Like, that's part of like the beat for that movie.
It's going to be a big movie week. I think I'm going to follow in your footsteps. I think I might watch Air tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to Guardians Wednesday. It's a good movie time right now.
It really is. Why the hell they didn't do this during the winter is beyond me. Because the winter was dead
just
spot.
Wait until the summer and it's gorgeous out in Wisconsin when people actually have things to do.
I mean, seriously, the winter, like, there was plenty of times like, oh, let's go see a movie. And it's like, the crap at the theater. Like, you just, you wouldn't go. Like, even if you really try to get it done, you just couldn't get it done here. We're going to talk more movies. Right now, 75% of you say you prefer to watch movies at home. We'll talk more movies. Basically, do you like to watch movies at home or the movie theater? What is your preference? A lot of layers into that. I also want to know what you do with your popcorn when you're done and all of your stuff. Like, do you take it out with you or do you leave it?
I like to dump it all over the floor.
God, I hope you're kidding. Because I work out at Carbon World Health, and I would kick your butt if I saw you dump popcorn on the floor there. Go work out at Carbon World Health. I just had another weigh in there, and fantastic. Thrilled with the results. 10% body fat, around 200 pounds, muscle mass continuing to grow because I work out there and I take the semaglutide.
To keep your glutes tight.
Go see Dr. Nestor Rodriguez. See if it's right and safe for you. It's the first ever FDA-approved weight loss treatment. It burns fat, not muscle. And Dr. Nestor Rodriguez can find out if it's safe for you. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
Hi, Sarah. I'm sorry I'm late. The traffic is crazy.
Yeah, it is. And it doesn't help that gas prices have skyrocketed. I can't believe how much it costs for gas now.
Everyone's talking about how much gas is, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app, and I get cash back for every gallon of gas I buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid real cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yeah, real cash every time I buy gas.
What? That sounds like it could really add up.
I've made around $200 already.
Wow, that's serious extra money. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CAR3 for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CAR3 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus in your first tank. That's code CAR3 for 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone and let us leave a legacy on your home. Roofing, windows, gutters, siding, and decks. Can Legacy do it? You bet. Better prices, better warranties. Legacy always makes it easy. Go to legacy-exteriors.com. Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone and let us leave a legacy on your home.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Trust the auto experts at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. You know us for tires and batteries, trust and care, offering unbeatable deals on name brand automotive supplies and service. Like 20% off select floor mats, seat covers, and steering wheel covers. Rewards members buy any two, get a steering wheel cover free. 5-quart jugs of Valvoline synthetic motor oil, just $22.99 after $10 mail-in rebate. And McGuire's car wash, wax, or interior protectant spray is just $9.99.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
You can drive cutting-edge design. 2023 Audis are on the lot and ready for delivery. Take advantage of 4.99% APR financing for up to 60 months on select new 2023 models. See dealer for details and exclusions. $18.87 a month per $1,000 finance. No down payment required. Qualified buyers through Audi Financial Services. Offer ends May 31st. Stop in and test drive today. Check out our website to see the current inventory and our monthly specials. The search for your Audi begins and ends at Simbrick Audi of Madison, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. Drive yours today.
Looking for your next spot out with family or friends? Head to one of Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company's 4 locations in the Madison area. Whether you're on the east side, downtown, in Fitchburg, or at Hilldale, you're sure to enjoy one of Madison's favorite traditions. Head to GreatDanePub.com to find the location near you. Always local, always welcoming, and always committed to the craft. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors.
I should be dancing the pain away, the pain away. I'm gonna wear my favorite color tonight.
Sadler chimes in, I prefer the theater. Date night is great, especially if I can go somewhere that has restaurant service and gets me a Coors Light. 844-770-3776. Do you prefer to watch a movie at home or in the movie theater? Right now, 61% of you say at home. Matt Hamilton, what do you really do with your popcorn and your soda and all that jazz when you leave a theater?
I carry it out and put it in the trash can.
Why do you say it like that? Like, I feel like that's the normal human being thing to do.
Why do
you sighed like, I
can't believe I had to do that.
Or like, I'm
as much
such
fun
a,
as
a
it is
baby.
to like troll you, it's like I'm not going to tell you like slowly. What I do is I open the top to my pop and then slowly wipe pop on every single armrest on my way out of that aisle, while slowly leaving a trail of popcorn so anyone could follow me all the way to my car in the parking lot.
I hope this was a troll viral post because it's on Twitter, and at this point, almost 99% of things are designed to be trolls, as per their head of operations there, King Troll Elon Musk. But like, someone posted that when they leave a theater, if they have leftover popcorn, they dump it on the ground, and I can't believe that's real. But if you do, tell me why. 844-770-3776.
Nobody does that.
76. But like, and people were. It seemed like if they weren't in on the joke, we're like backing it up of like, oh well, just like if I go to like a place, I get the peanuts and throw them on the floor too, the shells, and I'm like,
was that Texas Roadhouse that does that?
Probably.
It's one of those steak places you can get peanuts.
I still put them like on the table or in the bowl. I don't like throwing them on the floor.
Oh,
if
Texas
I'm at
Roadhouse,
the bar,
that's the thing.
If I'm at the bar, I shell them on the ground at the Texas Roadhouse. And it's been a long time, but yeah, I'll eat them and just shell them right there.
Well, here's the thing.
Because they don't give you a bucket to put the shells.
I know what you're talking about. A lot of times, though, I actually don't mind eating the shell.
I mean, I'll eat like maybe one shell and like a bag of peanuts. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, it's really salty and the fiber, chewy kind of.
Like at a ball game, I'll do it.
Yeah, but like, there's nothing you can do with that like husk.
I know.
Or like cud.
No, I know.
Of peanut shell.
Yeah, no, I agree. But it's still not my favorite there. And at times, like, I feel like I put it like on the bar at times, just because it's just weird. Because people have to go there and buy and clean it up, and they hate you for it. Like, they're like
every time you ask for ask.
There you go.
For peanuts that they just like dread it. They roll their eyes like, I'm going to clean up every single one of these shells off the floor under your table in a half an hour.
Like the newest employee there has to clean it up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that has to be.
What an odd job. You probably, like, someone's job is probably just walk around with one of those, like, broom dustpan things.
There's a lot of peanuts or peanut shells on the ground there, so, like, I feel like that is, like, end of the night sort of thing, unless it's, like, really bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you think, like, a shop vac would be the way you'd want to do that.
I don't know, man. You'd have to empty the shop vac every, like, 10 minutes.
True. Oh, man. Sounds horrendous. 844-770-3776. If you throw things on the floor, tell me why. Because it really is, like, aggressive.
You know what?
The
Super
peanut shells I'll give
gears?
a pass to because, like, yeah, you're right. They kind of are asking for it.
Not that I feel like this is a little bit of a stretch, but we're talking peanut shells and, like, nuts. You know what really grinds my gears is when I'm golfing and you find that guy in the group or two ahead of you that's chewing on sunflower seeds and spitting the shells on the green.
Yeah, that's gross, yeah.
One, I don't want to touch your spitty shell,
Yeah.
and two, like,
now it's in the way.
Yeah, and like that can severely affect like my shot.
Absolutely.
And the last thing I want to do is, even with my club, do I want to touch your gross sunflower seed shell?
I like it. 844-770-3776. Gross out pet peeves. The one that drives me is cigarette butts. If you're going to smoke a cigarette, put it where it belongs.
Throw it away.
Throw it away. Like, come on. You're already a leper. Don't add to it by littering. Like, if you feel the need to have to smoke a cigarette, then just find the trash and put it in the trash.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty simple ask. It's really unnecessary. But I wanted to get into an 844-770-3776. You can hop in on any of those topics. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. He's Hamilton. I'm Rutledge. Futures. It's that time of year where there's not a lot of actual real football things going on. I think there's some OTA starting up in a little bit, but not today. So I wanted to take today's opportunity to look ahead, kind of put on our Wolf of Wall Street financial advisor hat here and look into the future and say, if you were gonna like pick something to be like, this is the stock that I'm riding or dying with in the NFC North. We're going to start with. Maybe we'll expand it out.
So when we say that, our basis is
so
going
over
to
the
be,
next 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
Which team would you pick to have a Super Bowl victory? In the next
Super Bowl victory
or appearance? We can make an appearance.
Okay.
Real appearance. Next 3 to 5 years, most likely. So whichever one, if it comes out and the Vikings get to the NFC Championship game, I guess they would get the
See, that's kind of, I think, the top in the next 5 years of the NFC North is the NFC Championship game.
And if you're that far, it's not a far stretch to say you get to the Super Bowl. That's one game.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I know the Packers don't do that often when they get there, but other teams can get there. 844-770-3776. You can hop in as well. I mean, I get Matt.
What happened to the last time the Bears were in an NFC Championship game? Oh, that's right. They lost to the Packers.
That was the last time the Packers won one. 11 years ago, old man.
12.
You were actually Alex Strouf's age. You're a little bit younger than Alex Strouf. The last time the Packers went to the Super Bowl. So get off your high horse and join the game. 844-770-3776. Futures is how we're going to play this. What team in the NFC North do you think has the best outlook for success? And we'll call that getting to the Super Bowl in the next, we'll go 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to lay out some groundwork here of like different ways to think about it. And again, you can chime in with your vote as well, 844-770-3776. For an example here, the Vikings in the short term, they currently have Dalvin Cook. They might be moving him. They have Kirk Cousins. They have probably the most established quarterback within the division. They won the division last year.
One of the best wide receivers in the league.
Yep, and a team that's kind of in transition, but with a weak division, could maybe make this transition work if they can find the right next quarterback. You have the Lions. Again, Jared Goff, he's gone to a Super Bowl before. The Lions were, 8-0 or 8-1 in their last 9 games? And then you have some other young talent around them. They've got some high draft picks. From that Matthew Stafford trade, they've been able to kind of maybe right the ship there. But Jared Goff, how good is he? There's no real backup plan for him unless maybe Hendon Hooker hits, but they don't really have a future at quarterback. Jared Goff looks like a plateaued sort of player.
Right.
And Dan Campbell, we don't know what he is. We don't know. I would say that you can say that for every single coach in the NFC North. We don't know what Matt LaFleur is.
Right.
Because he hasn't had to coach without Aaron Rodgers, so I think he's on a similar playing field as these folks. Look at the Green Bay Packers. They are in transition a little bit here. There are some players that are really good and are young, like Jair Alexander.
Yeah.
But also like a Jair Alexander. He's a guy entering or right in his prime on a good deal. With Sean Gary, depending on his health, and if they're going to pay him, could be a guy. Kenny Clark's probably on the back end of that. And then we don't know what Walker and Wyatt and some of the other young guys will be. And then offensively, Watson looks like an ascending player. Dobbs looks like he'll be a nice player. Jones, a little more on the back end of it. Jordan Love, we don't know what he is. Dylan, we don't know what he is as a number one. We broke this down before.
Right.
4 yards of carry and not an amazing pass catcher. He's a serviceable pass catcher.
Right.
That's very much up in the air what A.J. Dillon is as a lead back, if he can be that.
Sure.
And then you have, obviously, offensive line. Bakhtiari's going to be gone after this year, and there's probably a little bit of shuffling there. You have Chicago. They have the quarterback that's 1 year further along, even though he's a year behind Justin Fields. You do at least know a little bit more of that window. It's a little bit more uncovered. They also have future draft picks to make some moves. They have a lot of salary cap space. They don't have as many proven players as the Packers. So that's kind of a broad overview of how I would describe the stocks here, if you will. 844-770-3776. We're asking you, which team do you think has the best futures in the next 3 to 5 years? We're defining it as most likely to get to a Super Bowl.
All right. Get you dig right into it?
Yeah,
all right.
Talk through it. I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah, no.
Talk it out loud.
So there's a couple ways to look at this. Me and Alex are probably looking at this a little differently than you, Jimmy, because we're looking at the long future. We got time to stay in this game right now. And the long outlook, to me, I like the Packers. We have a lot of young talent on this field, a lot of unproven, but a lot of young talent. I like a lot of these draft picks we have this year and last year as far as guys coming up. And we're going to have more bites at the apple. So if I'm picking a 5 to 10 year plan, I like where the Packers at, but you asked for 3 to 5. So now I'm going to talk through this.
Because 5 to 10 is kind of
I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but I'm just breaking down the stocks the way you're giving it.
I know, but the way you have it, 3 to 5, even for a guy like Christian Watson, that's the most likely time window he's on his team. 5 to 10, you're now starting to question because that's 7 years in the league.
So, I like the Packers. I do like where the Packers are at. I don't think we're not nearly as hamstrung as we were, so I don't hate it. The Lions, they have a team that's closer to the win now category as far as like the players around their quarterback and their quarterback. I think you made a good point. The quarterback is kind of capped out. They did take a bite at the apple this year on one of my favorite players in the draft. I think that Hendon Hooker could be a really good player. We'll see how that works out for him. Obviously, he's coming off an ACL. We'll see if he ends up getting any time this year. But I do think he is going to be the quarterback in Detroit in the future, so we'll kind of have to see how that plays out. So they'd be more of a 5-year look for me. The Bears, they're interesting. I like where they're at in the next 2 to 3 years. Maybe, depending on how they work contracts out and everything, they could still be relevant, 5 years from now. But they've got draft capital next year. They've got a quarterback that I personally believe is an NFL starting quarterback, potentially a franchise guy. Like, I think he's going to be the quarterback. He's going to get his next contract. He's going to be your quarterback for the next 5 years anyway. And with his athleticism, if he can stay healthy, the Bears are going to be able to put a good squad around him. They might be the number one in my eyes as far as the best setup. Who's got the most potential moving forward? Because that quarterback thing is the golden ticket. They know what they have in them. They have an athletic quarterback that can run, get yards. He improved throwing the ball, and their team is sitting real pretty as far as cap space and draft capital is concerned. So the Bears are probably my favorite. And then you have the Vikings. They're probably the win this year scenario in the NFC North. I think they obviously are going to ride out Kirk Cousins for another season. Dalvin Cook's probably going to be around. You can't sleep on that offense between Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, who we know I like to give him crap a lot, but the guy puts down really good regular season numbers. He's been very consistent over the last 2 years, and he's got one of the best wide receivers in Justin Jefferson. Defense, always a question mark. So if I'm picking the 5-year one, I think it's the Bears. 2, I think the Packers in 5 years, as big of an unknown as it is, I like that opportunity more than the Vikings winning. Like, they got 1 or 2 years, and then they're going to be in rebuild. Don't love those chances. I like the Packers' chances at getting to a NFC Championship game and maybe even the Super Bowl in the next 5 years than I do the Vikings. So I think I'm going to go Bears are my number 1 pick, Packers 2, Lions 3, and Vikings 4. Mostly because I'm not sure the Lions are going to be able to move on from Goff fast enough. I think he's just going to play well enough to keep them in that kind of quarterback purgatory, and that's going to be their issue. And the Packers, I think, have the right mindset. Jordan Love's our guy until he's not, and I don't think they're going to be afraid to move on from him. They realize the situation they're in. He's going to get 2 years, and if he doesn't prove himself, we'll have a rookie coming up through the system.
844-770-3776. We can ask a secondary Iron Jock poll question, which is basically which team in the NFC North do you think is most likely to reach the Super Bowl in the next 3 to 5 years? The Chicago Bears, you mentioned there, and I'm just going off of sporttrack.com, and so some of this average age stuff and salary cap things can be a little bit out of, it can be eye of the beholder. Some people might project certain things. I'm just going off this site because this is the site I use 100% of the time when I talk about salary cap issues. The Chicago Bears for 2024 have $92 million in cap space. That is second overall, and their average age is 25.95. The Green Bay Packers, as on this site, 26 years old is their average age, which is very young still. But according to this, they don't have a lot of cap space right now. But again, I think there's assumptions of Bakhtiari and other players getting moved off of it. So we'll dig deeper into it. We'll get Alex Stroh's thoughts, but I want to get your thoughts as well. We'll post it at at ESPN Madison, Iron Jack poll question. Which team in the NFC North do you think has best chance to win a Super Bowl next 3 to 5 years? Because there'll be a winner. You can be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. Largest win so far this year, well over $200,000. Go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. $10 million won in the month of April. More of that's going to be won in the month of May. So go be a winner. Keep on going to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Just look at them. State-of-the-art Honda hybrids, making ecological art out of any conditions they encounter. Rugged, dependable, stylish performance with fuel efficiency and low emissions that'll make a tree hugger blush. What's this phenomenon you're witnessing? It's the future, today. Electrified driving built for Wisconsin. Get your Honda hybrid now at your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer. Honda gets Wisconsin.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Revive Restoration. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. Revive Restoration.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America, where vintage racing lives on. Experience the sights, sounds, and smells from motorsport's pioneering age in historic Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Road America's 2023 season offers numerous opportunities to watch vintage race cars take the iconic 4-mile road course. The SVRA Vintage Festival Weekends opens the 2023 season May 19th through the 21st. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Former NFL player and Rose Bowl champion Tarek Saleh here for Carbon World Health. Carbon is much more than just another gym. They offer the best recovery in the area. Some of my favorites include red light therapy and cryotherapy. Improve your athletic performance, fitness and training results, speed up muscle recovery and reduce pain, and boost your mood with these simple and non-invasive treatments. Visit Carbon World Health today and ask for the ESPN Recovery Package. That's Carbon World Health.
Medicine Money Guy Christian Finfrock here. Struggling to understand retirement planning, life insurance policies, or managing your wealth? Listen to my show every Saturday at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN or call me right now at 208-1800 for a complimentary consultation.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you sign-ups are now open for the inaugural ESPN Madison Open. Head to ESPNMadisonOpen.com to purchase your foursome today. The ESPN Madison Open tees off July 17th at Trappers Turn. We've partnered with Coors Light and the Catch Foundation for this exclusive event, and you can experience it too. You'll enjoy food, drinks, swag, and while getting in 18 holes with Wisconsin sports stars like me. But spots are limited. Head to ESPNMadisonOpen.com. That's ESPNMadisonOpen.com to sign up now.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Carbon World Health.
Matt Hamilton has triggered Rutledge as an idiot guy. Thinking the Bears are set at the QB is laughable. The kid averaged less than 140 yards passing per game last year. That's what I want. A non-throwing QB who will blow out his knees in 2 years. I like my chances with Love.
Here we go.
Look.
Hey, I don't think he's necessarily wrong. Like, Fields did not throw for a ton of yards, but the Bears didn't put anything around him last year.
Okay, so
I don't think he's that. I think he's better than people are giving him credit for because he had an absolutely brutal offense around him. The guy rushed for like 800 yards, I'm pretty sure, last season.
Oh, no, he ran for 1,143 and just short of the all-time record set by Lamar Jackson, who has also not blown out his knee. So I would like to point this out.
He's smart. When he does go down and get hit, he doesn't take big shots, it didn't seem like.
So Jalen Hurts accounted for about 3,500 yards his second year as a starter with the Eagles and about 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, a 61% completion percentage. Now, passing alone, 3,144, 61 completion percentage, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Justin Fields passing alone last year, 61% completion percentage, 2,242 yards, and then he threw for 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. But, and this part counts, when you account for his rushing, which do count in games, I love plenty of fans just like to imagine they don't count. He had more yards from scrimmage and more touchdowns than Jalen Hurts had in his second year. I don't know what Justin Fields will be.
I don't either.
He is leaps and bounds in front of the player he was as a rookie. So what we have seen from Justin Fields as a passer is he is about 4 times better from his rookie year to his second year as a passer. And if he makes any more of a jump, then you know he's going to be he could be elite. Now, Jordan Love, we don't know at all what he is. Nobody does. He could be really good. But that's what we're asking, 844-770-3776. And by no means, Justin Fields is not a fully painted picture. But Justin Fields could just be a different version of a game manager.
And
he could go out, and if they have a really good running game and a really good defense, they couldn't just win 12 games. Not maybe this year because their defense isn't good enough, but he's just a different version of a game manager. Maybe he probably won't be Aaron Rodgers. But Lamar Jackson's gotten his team to the playoffs. Jalen Hurts was considered a running quarterback who couldn't throw the year before last. That's what everyone called him.
Right.
So not a complete far-fetched jump. But Jordan Love could be really good, too.
That's why I have him number 2. With as big of an unknown as Jordan Love is, I think the Packers have put and are putting a pretty okay young squad around him. I think it's going to take at least a year of growing pains. But I think that Jordan Love is eventually going to have the tools he needs to win. It's just not necessarily this year.
Our secondary Iron Jack poll question, which team in the NFC North is most likely to make a Super Bowl in the next 3 to 5 years? And I think Alex is posting that, so I'll go to my answer right now. And I'm with you that I put the Vikings at 4th. I think the Vikings the next 3 to 5 years, I don't think they get it done this year because they got rid of Thielen.
This is the year that they have to do it if they're going to.
And they already got rid of Thielen, and they're getting rid of Cook, most likely. I don't think it times up right, which then means Kirk Cousins is likely not going to be here the following season, and now you're kind of restarting over there in Minnesota. And maybe they hit, maybe it works, but that is the murkiest picture. Like, I look at it like this, that if I was, you kind of look through.
If I was betting on this season, I think Minnesota's my bet to win the North.
But if I was trying to look to the future and look through a window into the future, Minnesota's window is the dirtiest. I don't know what it looks like into the future.
I kind of know what it looks like for this season, and after that, it's very murky. Where the Packers have a clearer picture of the future. Honestly, this year's window pane's the dirtiest, and the next couple years seem to be clearer because you'll know what you have after this year.
I don't disagree. The Lions, to me, I'm going to put 3rd. I don't think Dan Campbell's the guy to get you to the mountaintop. I think he's
a great culture guy, though, Jim. He turned that culture around. And I don't know if culture guys can get it done, and I think that's what you're alluding to. Mm-hmm. But we do know defensive-minded coaches can get it done. Dan Campbell, great defensive mind, and he's got the locker room, just loves the guy. He apparently just embodies leadership by do what I do. Leadership by what am I thinking of? By leadership by action. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He seems like he's really got the locker room. So I think Dan Campbell might be able to do something big for the Lions. I don't know if it's going to be, if it was just turn the culture around, or if it's all take us all the way to the promised land.
And I don't disagree with that, but he seems more like a floor raiser than a ceiling raiser. So I think that now the Lions have the right culture and they have the right players in place. One of the things that Chicago's going to have a problem with as well is Ben Johnson is the offensive coordinator for the Lions, and he's the one that's making Jared Goff and his offense work. Now, Ben Johnson turned down head coaching jobs this season. He'll get more offers next season, and he's a guy that will likely be gone. And that is part of the success, I think, with Jared Goff. And if you have a defensive-minded coach, then he has to reload that position.
Right.
And maybe he can. Number 2, I have the Packers. Because they have likely 2 first-round picks next year, along with 2 second-round picks, one second-round pick, or either they'll have 2 firsts or 2 seconds, most likely 2 firsts. And we don't know what Jordan Love is, but the bigger question mark for me is that they are 1 year further along in having to pay Jordan Love, but 1 year behind where the Bears are with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
So
as far as seeing what you have in a guy that you're paying.
They don't know what they have, and they have to make a decision, or they're going to have to pay him a little bit quicker. I do like they've cleaned up their cap position. It's going to be better going forward. they are, I think, again, the Packers front office is more proven than Chicago's front office. So this is not a slam dunk for me. But everything they're doing right now when we're looking at futures is they're a year behind Chicago. Now, that could give them more success this year because Chicago tore down their roster. Chicago is kind of where Detroit was a few years ago. They tore down their roster. Now they're trying to build it back up and make a run for it. The Packers don't have to tear down their roster because they were better GM. They have players on this roster that are worth keeping. But the quarterback is the biggest question mark, but they do have an extra first-rounder next year that they could fix that problem, whether it's going out and trade or going out to trade for a guy or going up to get a quarterback in the draft. So I have them as a close second to the Bears, and this is all futures. Right. But the Bears were 0-8 one-score games. They really found a groove there as far as scoring a lot of points. Their defense was the problem last year, giving up a lot of points in those one-score games. I don't think they are going to ask Justin Fields to be Josh Allen or even Jalen Hurts. They drafted a running back. They signed Freeman from Carolina, and they have Herbert back. And they signed Tunyon. I think they're going to do a lot of running, just like they did last year. They paid for a lot of linebackers, and they're still very young. So for me, for futures, I'm going Chicago, Green Bay, and it's very close, Detroit, Minnesota. I think Minnesota's got the worst outlook out there right now in the NFC North. 844-770-3776. Matt, regardless, though, this is our second Iron Jock poll question. We love the folks over at Iron Jock.
That's right. We love Wisconsin brands, don't we, Jim?
Absolutely.
If they're from around here, we are in. Iron Jock is a local company designed here in Madison, or here in Wisconsin from the inside out, and Iron Jock provides a combination of superior moisture management, better cooling, static control, stain blocking, and storm-proof weather resistance. The state-of-the-art silver ion technology is what's going to keep you fresh and feeling fresh all day. It's going to provide odor-fighting protection for as long as you own it. You can go to ironjock.com, that's J-O-C, to get your Iron Jock apparel today. That's ironjock.com.
And you can use, what's our promo code? I think you have it on there. It's all right. That's the code we can use right now.
This one says it ends May 1st.
Oh, what is it?
It was the ESPN 25.
It's back.
That one's back.
We're
back.
back.
It's back, yeah.
All right. Well, you can use code ESPN 25 for 25% off all orders over $50 or more. Go to Iron Jock and get outfitted with the best apparel Wisconsin's got to offer. Iron Jock. It's what's inside that matters.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Varsity on Wisconsin On Demand is home to all the latest and best Badgers content on ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and wherever you get your podcasts. Former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr has found his new home and is leading the USFL in tackles. Orr has been a standout for the New Jersey Generals in the USFL for the last 2 seasons. Here's Orr on what the USFL experience has meant to him the last 2 seasons.
It's a lot of fun, man. You're playing a lot of football. That's what you love to do. And you're doing it with guys who love to do it as well. You're doing it with a lot of guys who have been in the same position as you.
You can watch Orr and the Generals take on the Houston Gamblers this Sunday at 3 o'clock on Fox.
Get 0% interest for up to 48 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and have everything installed in as little as a day. Visit PellaWI.com.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
When you want to show just how you feel, come to Chalmers Jewelers. Our custom jewelers have been working day and night to come up with the most amazing custom jewelry. Truthfully, in the 30 years I've been in business, we have the largest inventory of custom jewelry that we have ever had. Amazing prices, amazing selection, and one-of-a-kind pieces. Come see our incredible variety at either location or chalmersjewelers.com.
Chalmers Jewelers, in Middleton
and Madison.
You can drive cutting-edge design. 2023 Audis are on the lot and ready for delivery. Take advantage of 4.99% APR financing for up to 60 months and select new 2023 models. See dealer for details and exclusions. $18.87 a month for $1,000 finance. No down payment required. To qualify buyers through Audi Financial Services. Offer ends May 31st. Stop in and test drive today. Check out our website to see the current inventory and our monthly specials. The search for your Audi begins and ends at Simbrick Audi of Madison, off the Beltline in Rimrock Road. Drive yours today.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, home of the Big Win and Madison Casino Guru, is transforming guests into winners. Making an ordinary day into a big win day is easy with a 95% average payout. And with over 140 daily jackpots, the number of people winning has never been bigger. So what are you waiting for? Escape to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison for your next big win.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
How about all text? You focus on the road.
As a passenger, you have the power to prevent an accident. There are 1,000 ways to stop a distracted driver. Choose one.
A message from CTIA. You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Miss Polly side, come on over tonight.
The Celtics smoked the Sixers to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. They'll take on the Miami Heat. Hopefully they'll smoke the Heat then too. And you got Denver and the Lakers. Lakers finally play a real team.
Are you against, part of me oftentimes likes losing to the eventual champion.
I hate that.
You don't like that? That
So
doesn't.
dumb.
There's no solace in that for you at all.
No, especially not in this case. You lost in the first round.
Well,
You were
true,
the one
but
seed.
you could argue right now that the Heat's the hottest team in basketball.
So
could certainly make the argument.
It doesn't make me. I've never bought that argument. I think
I'm
I
with
hate
you
it.
though, Jim.
You don't find any solace in that? Is that something that we should ask?
Last year I did. Last year I did. Right when they lost the Celtics in the Eastern Conference semifinals, I took some solace in the fact they made it to the finals and they represented the East.
Well,
but to Jim's point, you lose in the first round, you only win one game. It's just flat out embarrassing. So I don't really give a damn who wins this year.
It is, but
you did worse
it's
than the
first
Knicks.
round. It's interesting to see.
You're right.
How far this team that really kind of didn't have any business being in the playoffs got hot at the right time and is rolling through two series now.
It's not even that unique
short,
though.
short
The Lakers
series.
are doing the same thing. They had no business being in the playoffs.
Yeah,
They
but
backed
is
it
it
away.
like the Lakers and the Heat? This is obviously that's only been around for play-in games for a while, but this is the first time a play-in team has won, and now both of them have won their second series. It's pretty interesting.
I think both are going to get smoked.
Really?
I think
You think Denver's going to take down the Lakers that easily?
Denver won 52 games this year. The Warriors were a 6th seed, and Memphis.
I think both of these are going Game 7.
And then Memphis.
I hope you're right.
Had a lot of Ja Morant drama. /
Right.
Also he was injured for some of that series.
Right.
And then Golden State, as their coach said, we were a 6th seed. We barely got into the playoffs because they were just out of the play-in too. They just beat a young Sacramento team, and then you have the Bucks who imploded mentally against Miami, and then you have the Knicks who can't score a basket.
Yeah.
So I think now you're running into. I just don't think there's a lot of good teams.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I'm just saying, long story short, I feel better when my team loses to the eventual champions.
We can throw it out there.
Are you rooting for the Heat to win it all?
I do not like Boston really in any capacity, so yes, I am cheering for the Heat.
They do win too much. I understand that. Jimmy, who are you cheering for of the 4 teams left?
Obviously, Denver and Boston.
That adds up.
See, I'm cool with both of the teams in the West. I like them both.
I don't like the Lakers.
I like
It's not even
LeBron,
LeBron.
and I like the story.
I'm kind of with you
everything
on
going
that.
on over there. But
what story that they have the most expensive players and they bought the biggest roster, and so now they're so Goliath is winning. That's the story you like.
Well, I like that.
Like
I do like that LeBron is potentially adding to his legacy. The guy is undoubtedly the best of our generation. Mine. You got to experience Jordan. I never really got to experience Jordan.
I don't even care about the conversation anymore. So
I'm not trying to compare the two. LeBron was game changing, and he's turned the NBA in the last.
He's
20
changed
years
the game less than Steph
to what
Curry's
it is.
changed the game, but
I mean, Steph Curry is
so anti-LeBron.
But Steph Curry has changed the game more than LeBron.
Oh,
he's changed
totally.
the game just
the
about
way
more
it's
than anybody.
played,
Yeah.
like 100%. But like, I'm just saying, LeBron is just one of those freak athletes.
He's like Kareem. He's like Karl Malone. They play for a really long time, and that's impressive. They play at a high level, at a high time. Absolutely.
And I like, honestly, he's kind of as like an older guy in the league. He's not. I'm not necessarily calling him an underdog, but it's like they don't expect as much out of him now that
the
he's
Lakers have
in
like
his
the
30s.
highest payroll, one of the highest
because
payrolls.
they have one of the best, the generational talent in LeBron James.
This isn't some sort of scrappy underdog story.
No, but it's about an old guy who's trying to like redeem himself.
We
a
leveraged
little bit.
being the Lakers, and we leveraged draft picks and fleeced other teams to just root for us.
I'm rooting for the Lakers.
For what it's worth, the Lakers have the second highest payroll of teams remaining. They have the 7th largest in the NBA. Bucks rank number 3 on that payroll list. Celtics are the top remaining. They're number 4 in the league, behind the Clippers and Warriors. Who else is left?
And also, but the Lakers are like
Denver,
a group of outlaws.
Heat is 19.
Yeah, Heat are like
Who are the
built a
Nuggets
team.
on this list? I'm losing them. Huh.
But the Lakers,
they're right behind the Lakers.
Yeah, but the Lakers are this like, hey, you played there, you played here. I'm going to trade for these guys, and we'll just put together some people for a few years and walk away. Like Denver built a team like Milwaukee's built a team.
Right.
Boston's built a team
Denver
like
definitely,
and Miami's built a team like Milwaukee.
LA
Those teams
goes
built,
out into the portal.
Yeah,
so to
exactly.
speak.
That's a great analogy there. Nate Jones chimed in, though, and this is Rutledge and Hamilton. We're presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush a Coors Light.
And Crush an Extra Coors Light, because we are live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Thanks to Everlight for hopping on to be a studio sponsor here for ESPN Madison, the Everlight Solar Studio. This is Rutledge and Hamilton. Nate Jones, who is a NBA insider reporter, and threw out this little sort of note that I just thought was interesting, and I wanted to see what you guys think about it. Jordan Poole, the trade idea. Jordan Poole and Moody, Emmanuel Moody from the Warriors, for Drew Holiday, who says no.
Ooh.
So here's what the idea is.
I say no. I think I would say no to that, too.
Milwaukee bets on Poole because he just needs to change the scenery. The guy can get buckets, and he's young and athletic.
Right.
And they don't have a lot of that. He's a hometown kid. And then you also team up with Moody, who's a young developing player. I say no, but then our friend David from Just the Cheese chimed in. I'd do it for Middleton and bring in Kuminga, who's a wing.
100%.
Ooh,
Poole
I don't hate
and
that.
Middleton and a little bit of compensation, whether it's another role player or something like that. I don't want to give up Holiday. I think Holiday and Giannis have a great connection, and the vibe that the fact that Holiday can stay on the court better than Middleton is purely the reason I'm going with this.
I have a quick question to kind of just put a bow on this NBA conversation, as the Bucks have requested to interview just about everybody and their mom under the sun the last couple of days.
What about your mother-in-law?
My mother-in-law, I don't believe she got a call. Okay. I don't believe, but she may have.
They didn't slip a call in? No?
Let it go. Let it die, Jimmy.
You started the show.
Who's going to be the Bucks head coach? Who do we think at this point? I know you feel pretty strongly about Kenny Atkinson, Jimmy.
Yep.
You still feel that way?
Yep, and that'd make a trade to the Warriors make a lot of sense, too.
It's true.
Kenny Atkinson, former Brooklyn coach, who took a team that was a disaster, got them to the playoffs, made them good enough that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving wanted to join that team, and then they kicked them out. But he's coached with Ty Lue, who I would love.
Yeah, Ty Lue's another option that they're
Not yet. Monty Williams is an option. He was let go by the Suns. Ty Lue is a name that's been floated, but I would say I would go with Atkinson. I wouldn't hate Monty Williams. For anyone out there saying Bud got the raw end of the deal, Nick Nurse has been fired. He won a title and Coach of the Year. Monty Williams has been fired. He got to the title game or title series and won Coach of the Year. Ty Lue might be fired. Doc Rivers might be fired. Those
Kerr's
are all
at the end of his contract, and they're going through new management in Golden State. They've got to get a new GM. I was listening to our national program this weekend.
They're the same owner. They're fine.
They're in but they're in a tough situation with the GM needing to be re-signed and the coach. So you don't really know how that can all go down.
True.
They're in some contract. It's a contract year for the Golden State Warriors.
But just so you're aware, if they replaced Bob Myers, their GM would be an internal guy. So then that means they'd probably bring back Kerr. But to your point, yes.
But Draymond as well.
Yeah.
Draymond Green, he might not be a they're in turmoil.
True. Mr. NBA.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell me that I already know?
No, well, I mean, I'm just it's not you. It's our loyal fans that are looking to me for my NBA
I know.
takes.
It was just the tone you gave. And like Draymond's
He
up.
is Mr. NBA.
How many? I mean, there is tens of people that are leaning on me for my NBA take.
It was just for your tone. It was just like, and let me tell you this other thing that you didn't know.
Yeah.
But I would say Kenny Atkinson seems to me like the leader in the clubhouse, and I'd be happy with that. And he's currently a Warriors assistant.
Yeah.
Now you're done? You had a million things, and now you're done?
Well, I mean, you shot all my things down, Jimmy.
Oh, man. All right, this is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
Alex Strofe here for my friends at Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, and award-winning spirits. What's not to love about those three? In a pod, hey, they've got gins. They're great gin. Big blue bottle, that thing rocks. They've got 3 different types of whiskey. Anything you want, they've got it for you. DoorCountyDistillery.com is the website to find the retailer near you. And also out on ESPN Madison's social channel, Sippin' with Strofe. Learn how to make the world-famous Carlsville Sour. It's got whiskey. It's got red wine. It's delicious. You can find that recipe wherever you follow ESPN Madison on social media. And go pick yourself up some delicious Door County Distillery. Like I said, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning. It's the best. Go find it, DoorCountyDistillery.com.
Are you dreaming of a new look? Let the pros at 5 Star Painting bring color to your world, to your interior, exterior, cabinets, and more. We make it easy with online scheduling, free on-site estimates, and a dedicated project manager on every job. Uneasy about hiring a contractor? We know, we've been there. 5 Star Painting is customer-focused and quality-driven, exceeding expectations every time. Call or visit 5starpainting.com today. 5 Star Painting, a neighborly company.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Yeah, the Everlight Solar Studio. I like the sound of this. It is your Sports Center update. I'm Alex Strofe, and it is brought to you by Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Bring the entire family for affordable fun with on-site camping, free parking, and free admission for kids 16 and younger. Well, we'll start in the NBA as we just wrapped up that conversation on Rutledge and Hamilton. Lot of progressions, at least conversations, in the Bucks head coaching search as Sam Charania of The Athletic earlier today says that the Bucks are expected among the teams to seriously pursue Monty Williams, the former Phoenix Suns head coach, of course, the coach who the Bucks beat in the 2021 NBA Finals. That's just one name of many names that the Bucks are interviewing. You can find a full list of candidates over at ESPNWisconsin.com. And while you're at ESPNWisconsin.com, check this out. The off-season NFL power rankings following the NFL draft. Where do the Packers fall in? Well, I'll spoil it for you. They come in at team number 20. That's not too bad. Full list over at ESPNWisconsin.com. Rutledge and Hamilton in the news right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
You got the shell.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
It's just health. It's all boiled down to health with myself and AD in this franchise since we joined each other 5 years ago, or was it 4 years ago? So it's always come down to health.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio with Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
Yeah, we are. We are live from the Everlight Solar Studio. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The Mountain Blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light. They're delicious.
I would say this secondary Iron Jock poll question is blown up. Which NFC North team is most likely to make a Super Bowl run within the next 3 to 5 years? I don't know what kind of curve we have to put on this or weight we have to put on it, because clearly this is ESPN Madison. I would say Packer fans are afraid of the Lions.
I did retweet it.
Right.
So we have a little more bonus fans that are going to get involved.
So modest.
But he's also still trying to negate what I'm saying. This is a ESPN poll. ESPN Madison
no.
poll.
I'm not trying to negate anything. I'm just saying I really liked this one, so I've got a lot of Viking followers.
Yeah, they only got 11%. I would say that I think you got a lot of Packer followers, most likely.
I do.
So right now, 39% of you say the Packers, 31 say the Lions, which are not out of pocket, not crazy. It's just very high number for the Packers.
Yeah, I don't hate and I expected the Packer bias. I have them definitely at 2 personally.
Same.
Totally understand them being at 1 in this poll. Lions, Bears, I don't hate the interchangeability.
No.
I think I like the team around the quarterback in Detroit better, but I think I like the quarterback in Chicago better, and I'm still like meh on the team around him. So I think those ones I think is fair to
Yeah, I would say I think agreeing that Minnesota is got the worst outlook for the next 3 to 5 years, that to me is fair. The other 3 you can sell yourself on any of it right now.
Yeah.
We'll have a better outlook.
Whatever cup of Kool-Aid you want to drink.
And you'll have a better outlook for it at the end of the season. At the end of the season, we'll have a real feel for which team has it, because then you'll know what Jordan Love is, you'll know what Justin Fields is, and you'll know what the Lions can do with Jared Goff. Like, this is a year coming up in the NFC North that's going to answer a lot of questions.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of posturing next year too for top of the North, because I think all the teams kind of see what we're seeing right now is that you've got 3 teams that are in rebuild or rebuilding or in this like restructuring turnaround mode, and you have 1 team that's kind of falling off of that team in their prime kind of like high horse. So next year is going to be the season where you're going to see teams like kind of posturing and where we're going to find the next trend as far as NFC North champions.
If we're being like, if you're going for North titles in the next 3 to 5 years, I would say that Detroit wins the most North titles. Because if I'm looking at Green Bay or Chicago, I'm looking at those teams at the 4 to 5 end of this window.
Right.
That at 4 or 5 years in, they could be Super Bowl contenders.
See, I don't have any outright winners. I think you got the Vikings win it this year.
Over the Lions.
Over the Lions. This year, I just think the Vikings still have too many pieces, and then they're done. They're not going to win for the next 4. The next 4, I have some splits in between the Packers, the Lions, and the Bears. They're all set up for the future a little bit better. It's going to really depend on what Love turns out to be and what Fields turns out to be. But I could see the Lions maybe doing 1, but I see the Packers and the Bears duking it out for who's going to have 2 and who's going to have 1. I think the Packers and the Bears for the 5-year future have the best outlook because I think we have the most potential at quarterback. The ceiling is higher at quarterback for our 2 guys than any other team in the North.
Absolutely. And that's really what matters in this whole thing.
Agreed. So I think just depending if Jordan Love turns out to be a guy that can compete with Justin Fields, I think the Packers, because like you said earlier, might have a stronger front office, might be able to put better tools around.
They're more proven.
They're more proven. So that's why I'm going to say Packers 2 titles in the next 5, Bears 1, Lions 1, Vikings 1. That's the prediction.
So we are taking the calls on this. 844-770-3776 is how you get into the show. We are asking you which team has the best outlook for the next 3 to 5 years, and by that we're defining as making a Super Bowl run within the next 3 to 5 years. 39 or basically 40% of you say the Packers, 31% of you say the Lions. The Bears come in at 17.5% and Minnesota at 11%. With putting on a grading curve of this being an ESPN Madison poll, I would say it's probably dead heat between Detroit and Green Bay. Yeah. When you account for the the bias, which should exist here, you're going to want your team.
Yeah.
And we'll know after this year. We will have such a better feeling for where these teams are at after this year. We were talking little Bucks beforehand, and Daryl and Deerfield chimed in. Bucks don't have anyone the Warriors want besides Giannis. They figure they can sign him in a couple of years, possibly. But I will say this, with the Warriors, they might be a team that works for the Bucks. One part I will say why is that the Warriors, I think they're going to try to keep Draymond. Everyone's expecting the cap to go up really big because there's another NBA deal coming. So
interesting. I don't think they're going to try and keep Draymond.
And with and again, I don't say me. I'm listening to a lot of NBA podcasts, and I think if they can get Draymond for a number that's like $30 million a year, I think they will.
Right.
And then you could still figure out a way by moving some contracts to bring in a guy like, it's easier to trade in a guy like Middleton or Drew. And those guys, you're trying to win now. So the age of those players don't matter, especially if they move off a guy like Draymond. Well, can I ask a question? Would you trade a extended Chris Middleton for an extended Draymond Green?
Ooh, I don't like Draymond very much. I wouldn't.
He is a Hall of Fame
I do this purely
player.
based off of my spite for him as a player, not for what he's capable of on the court or what he would actually do for the team. It's like you cheering for Grayson Allen. I would just have a problem with it. I don't know if it would be worth it.
Undeniably, yes, I would do it. But with the Warriors.
Well, here's the thing. He was NBA All-Defensive Second Team this last season and was an All-Star the year before. So it's not like he's washed. I mean, NBA All-Second Team. If you traded Middleton,
I'd do it.
Yeah, because
but they wouldn't. I don't think.
The only reason they would do it is if they got Middleton and then you have Wiggins and could you?
But they're not going to break up that big three.
I agree. The weird part is I think
they're just going to keep running it.
Do you know who's taller? Chris Middleton or Draymond Green?
I mean, my gut tells me Draymond, but the way you say that makes
if
me
he's
think
asking
it's
the question, it's Middleton.
Yeah, Middleton's 6'7", and Draymond's listed as 6'6".
Huh.
But Draymond is an elite passer. But here's why the Bucks would want him. Culture setter. They have had nobody like Draymond on their team ever. I think
who's the closest? Maybe Bobby Portis?
No, PJ Tucker. Bobby hasn't won.
Yeah.
Like, I love Bobby. And Bobby's a dog, if you will, but Draymond is a winner. Like, why do I want Kenny Atkinson to come to Milwaukee? Because Kenny Atkinson was around the Warriors culture the last 2 years. Why would I want Draymond Green to come to Milwaukee? He had a winning culture that he could bring here. You know who Giannis will listen to more than even a coach telling him, like, stop shooting threes, stop shooting long jumpers? A player of Draymond's stature.
Maybe.
A vocal leader.
Right.
Because I love Drew and Chris and Giannis. They're all three what feel like do as I do leaders. They're not necessarily – they can be vocal. I know Giannis and certain guys at times have been vocal.
Right.
But none of them are like, for example, Matt, you play a role. And I know you hate Draymond Green, but if I had on your team, you seem to play the role of, like, I will be the guy that gets in other people's heads. I will be the guy that draws attention. Let me be me. I can handle it all. And I'm going to play elite, but people are going to focus on all the other stuff, and you don't feel as much pressure.
Oh, my gosh, I am Draymond Green.
And you guys don't feel as much pressure in this situation. So you bring a value to the Draymond
100%.
Green of
curling.
Teams, of
pressure.
pressure.
I've never been suspended. I've never been suspended from curling play.
But you are a champion. You've won multiple. You've obviously won the gold medal. You've won national champions as well, and you're a really good player. But you're a guy that I'm sure there's some people out there that if they didn't know you would get annoyed by you. I think curling's more tight competition. But Draymond, like him and LeBron are boy. Like a lot of people in the NBA like Draymond Green. He's very well liked in the NBA. It's other fan bases that look at him. I'm sure people in Canada are like, you know what? I was on Canada radio not that long ago. They didn't seem to love Matt Hamilton. They didn't give like a woo, that's great. You had Matt Hamilton like I get around here. So I'm just saying, Matt, you're not obviously
that's
the
full
on character Draymond Green is, but you kind of could respect the role he would play with a team like Milwaukee.
Totally get that. I mean, every team needs a guy who's gonna be able to take the criticisms, but also take some of that like spotlight, help the rest of the team relax a little bit. And that's what Draymond does for sure for the Golden State Warriors.
And he's got a podcast. You got a radio show. That radio show's got a podcast. Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, any of those great places. And that's brought to you by our friends at Revive Restoration. Go to RevivePros.com. Mold remediation, smoke, water damage. Revive Restoration is who you need to call. This is Rutledge and Hamilton. We're going to throw some stones next.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Gold medalist Matt Hamilton here to tell you about Wisconsin's best choice for roofing, siding, windows, and doors, Ridgetop Exteriors. I know they're the trusted local experts who consider customer service their #1 goal, but don't just take my word for it. Jake and Dawn are both recent customers who left 5-star reviews for the outstanding service and quality of work on their projects. Get a free estimate for your home project today by logging on to ridgetopexteriors.com. Visit ridgetopexteriors.com.
North and South Seafood and Smokehouse is the official barbecue and seafood and smokehouse of Rutledge and Hamilton. Make sure to listen every Wednesday for your chance to win a $50 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse in Madison, Verona, and DeForest. North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone and let us leave a legacy on your home. Roofing, windows, gutters, siding, and decks. Can Legacy do it? You bet. Better prices, better warranties. Legacy always makes it easy. Go to legacy-exteriors.com. Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone and let us leave a legacy on your home.
2023 is a very special year for Goodman's Jewelers. We're celebrating 90 years of serving the greater Madison area. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Needless to say, that's a long time and a lot of great memories working with you, our customers. During these 9 decades, we've never deviated from our pledge to you, which is earning your trust, delivering top-notch service, and a selection that's second to none. Discover firsthand why Goodman's Jewelers is truly a destination worth reaching. 220 State Street, goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Life has its moments, times to remember and share. Make the most of those special occasions by visiting Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street. John Hayes from Goodman's Jewelers. We're here to help you make that perfect selection for your memorable moment. When you think of diamonds, you hear about color, cut, clarity, and carat weight. We can help you understand that, but we're equally concerned with earning your trust with the quality of our selection and our service. GoodmansJewelers.com, in the heart of downtown Madison. Truly a destination worth reaching.
Watch PGA Tour champions, including tournament host and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker, at the American Family Insurance Championship when it returns to University Ridge Golf Course in Madison, Friday, June 9th through Sunday, June 11th. AmFam Champ Week will also include an exciting concert featuring Tyler Hubbard of Florida Georgia Line, Friday, June 9th. Proceeds will support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and the American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com. That's amfamchampionship.com.
Forward Madison FC's professional soccer season is in full swing from Breeze-Stevens Field. The Flamingos' next home game is Thursday, May 18th at 7 p.m., only 4 days after Mother's Day. To celebrate, Forward Madison has the perfect ticket package for any mom in your life. Get a ticket, belt bag, can of wine, and bumper stickers starting at just $33. To purchase this package or single game tickets, head to forwardmadisonfc.com. Forward Madison, fun for all.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by X Golf in Madison and Middleton.
Rutledge and Hamilton continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. He's Hamilton.
Yeah, it does.
He's Hamilton. I'm Rutledge. We're presented by Coors Light. And
Delicious Coors Light.
Tasty, delicious, refreshing, all those great things. That's Coors Light. Cold as well. The mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's Crush, one of those cold, delicious Coors Lights.
Let's throw some stones.
The guys think they have the answers to everything.
I'm the best there is.
People like me.
So it's time to put them to the test.
That's some booty, Jim.
You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Oh, baby. How's that? How are them apples, huh?
Great apples.
Nice apples.
Thanks, fellas. Worked hard on that this morning.
There you go.
Thought it's May flowers. Needed to refresh it up a little bit. All right, it is time to throw some stones here on Rutledge and Hamilton. I've got questions. Jim and Matt have answers. I'll score them throughout. And at the end, we will crown a winner of Monday's edition. What?
Nothing. Me.
Of Throwing Stones. Let's start with Matt Ryan. Big quarterback news in the NFL today, fellas, as the former Falcons and Colts quarterback has signed with CBS as an analyst. No Matt Ryan in Green Bay.
So he retired?
Unofficially. But he signed a deal with CBS. As of today, he could still, of course, sign a deal with a team, and they could push it down the line like they did with Tom Brady. But, Matt, I ask you, are you surprised Matt Ryan not returning for another season in the NFL? Likely.
I'm not surprised. He definitely looked like an absolute shell of himself for the Colts. The guy was undeniably a great quarterback. I don't think he ever quite cracked that elite category, and unfortunately is going to have to live forever with those comeback losses as quarterback of a team that gave up a huge amount of points, one to the Vikings, and then gave up that Super Bowl loss to Tom Brady. So, I'm not surprised he retired. He's infamous right now, and he's not adding to his legacy anymore. You go ahead and change the role. Be a commentator.
He's too good to come in and be a backup for someone. And I think if a starting QB got hurt and a team was in dire straits, I think Jay Cutler did something like this. He never ended up in the booth because he went down to Miami. But he was not planning on playing and signed on for a deal. And then I forget exactly what happened to Miami, but then they basically handed him a job. So unless something we don't want to happen in Green Bay happens, Matt Ryan's not coming to Green Bay. He's not going anywhere. He's too good.
Agreed.
He's a fringe Hall of Famer. He's too good to be a backup.
Yeah, he had too much riding on his legacy to just totally burn out.
Yeah, so Matt Ryan on Twitter earlier today said, excited to join the NFL on CBS Family, looking forward to breaking down the game this season. And then P.S., this is not a retirement post. So do with that information as you will.
Just in case someone calls him.
I still think Green Bay should, but that's beside the point.
But he's not going to take call.
It's like he's going to a high school dance. He called his buddies at CBS hey, we all going stag for the NFL season this year? And he's still just hoping that someone's going to ask him to be the date for the dance and he can ditch his buddies at CBS. That's all this is. He's just making a little backup plan in case nobody wants him.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, let's move on. Something we talked about a little bit on Friday was Matt is no longer the most famous Olympian fan of the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, this is so brutal.
As the Packers signed Jonathan Owens.
Bandwagoner.
The husband of Simone Biles. Probably the most famous and successful gymnast in American history. She put out a tweet on Friday afternoon after the show asking for recommendations in the city of Green Bay, which I have not given her any yet, but I sure will because me and Simone are going to become best friends. Yeah, right.
That'd be my recommendation.
It's a good recommendation.
Applebee's.
But Molly Crosby, last name should sound familiar, the wife of Mason Crosby, tweeted and then deleted this. Sadly, we'll miss you. We just ended a 16-year run with the team. That being said, I've got stuff I need to share with you, blah, 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 blah. Then deleted the tweet. So Mason Crosby, it looks like the era's over in Green Bay. They drafted a kicker. We kind of expected this. But should the Packers consider bringing Mason Crosby in for competition in camp, Jim?
I mean, they should.
What a roundabout way to get to this question.
Yeah, they should, but they won't. If they had the interest of winning as most amount of football games as they possibly could, Crosby should be their kicker this year. Unquestionably. If that's their goal, to win as many games as we can, young QB, get those points, chalk them up, Crosby inside of 40 yards, love it. And this guy, Carlson, Anders, is that his name? Durst. Yeah, Anders. So he may be good, but he's injured a lot in college, very inconsistent in college. Not some guy that's guaranteed going to knock down all these 50-yarders that Crosby maybe is starting to struggle with. I also want to ask, though, I think Simone Biles has a bigger claim to be the biggest Packer fan out there forever because when you're married to a Packer player, I think that trumps being a fan.
Oh, come on.
Your checks are coming from the Packers.
Well, her husband's checks.
But, I mean, I'm sorry, but your family's checks, so your bank account is being filled by the Packers.
Yeah, but I'm an owner.
Great point.
But also,
it's a great point.
So are you more valuable than Aaron Rodgers?
Huh?
Are you more important? Like, if a player is getting a check from the team, we'll assume he shares banking with his wife. So the two of them are more ingrained as Packers and more important Packer-related people than you.
I'm not costing my team any money. I actually gave them money for a piece of paper.
But you're bringing nothing to the table. You better hope that this new player for the Packers does more value for the team than you do.
Stop trying to make me admit that I am not the biggest Packer Olympic gold medalist.
Well, that's just a fact.
Yeah.
But the other part of this is, Jim, is Jonathan Owens probably going to be a starting safety for the Packers this year. So
that's what I'm saying. So
you better bring a much bigger impact.
Matt, you better hope
than Matt
that he brings more than your couple $100 or whatever you bring each year.
Fine.
Did you even pay to go to the game you went to this year?
No.
Yeah. So what are you bringing? You bought a hat there?
I bought some gear. I always buy
So
gear.
a couple $100.
Yeah. And a sweatshirt and got something for my wife. Yeah.
There you go.
Support the team.
gotta support the team.
And look fresh at the same time. It's a win-win, baby.
I love it. All right, let's move on to the idiocy of the weekend. That's still the idiocy news. Ja Morant, Memphis Grizzlies point guard, for the second time in 2 months, has been shown on an Instagram Live holding a gun. He was already suspended for this. Happened again. And now the NBA, as all the reports say, they're going to lay down a very hefty suspension on Ja Morant, but they have time, as obviously the Grizzlies currently in the offseason. Jim, have you ever seen an athlete be this idiotic after getting in trouble for something so recently?
Man, I'm trying to think. There probably is something. Matt's not in his head. It's popping up. I will say this. Trying to take the throne from Ja Morant as far as doing or stupid things would be Will Kane saying stupid things, and I'll just leave it at that. That guy's a moron. But
I didn't see what you're referring to.
You don't need to. It's stupid. It's exactly what you guess it would be from Will Kane. But I will say that Ja Morant just doesn't get it, because this isn't about him having a gun. This is about, that's part of it, but he got in trouble in Indianapolis for him or someone in his group pointing a laser pointer at players outside of the Pacers after they got in an altercation and made a threat, and then he had a gun. He was asked not to do it by his employer and the league he plays for, and then he did it again. You got to follow the rules of your employer. Again, amendment rights are all fine and dandy, but you don't have a right to do whatever you want. You have a right to do whatever you want on your free time, but if your employer says you can't do it, you can't do it. So pretty stupid from Ja.
Yes, there's only one other player that I can think of that has had more stupidity in this situation or something similar than Ja Morant, and that's Josh Gordon. And don't get me wrong, Josh, I don't think you did anything wrong in general other than the fact that your team said you weren't allowed to do what you did, and that's enjoying the cannabis, the marijuana. And I just like you said, Jim, it's a rule. Your team put forth a rule for you.
And the league.
And the league. And now that rule became more strict for you, and I'm sure for Ja, than it would have been anyway, and you still broke the rule. The only thing is, Ja needs to do this one or two more times to have as established of a record as Josh Gordon did, like 3 or 4 times,
and I would
violating his contract.
And that's a great comp. I would go with Ja worse, because you can make a case. I mean, with Josh,
he was never going to hurt anybody,
right? And is it an addiction? Is it mental? I mean, there's other people self-medicate with different things, marijuana, whatever. So like, there's literally nothing here. But as far as like, you have to follow. I can swear all I want on my free time. I can't swear on this show. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard to figure out.
And I'm like 99.9% of the time, I follow that rule.
Right. Matt Hamilton can
might be a little high. But
Matt Hamilton can be buzzed and drunk all he wants, and he is all the time off the show. But from 2 to 4, the man is locked in.
Dialed.
So dialed.
Dialed in, baby.
The other one that came to mind, but totally a different realm, is Antonio Brown at the end of his career, right? With the Raiders and bringing the helmet from the Steelers.
What
and
about
had
his
it painted.
feet and the cryo?
Essentially burning his feet off or freezing his feet off, I guess, and then running off the field shirtless. I mean, so that was the other guy that came to mind when I asked that question. But Ja Morant, all-time idiot here the last few weeks. All right, last one for you guys today is I want to know your favorite sports brawl of all time, not named Malice at the Palace. Because 7 years ago today, Jose Bautista got rocked in the face. I'm sure we all remember that. It was Rangers Blue Jays, and Bautista just got punched in the face, and there was a ginormous brawl. Is there any brawls or fights or moments in professional sports that stick out to you when I bring up that not named Malice at the Palace? Jimmy, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so there was, I'm trying to figure out exactly when this happened, but it was Mother's Day in the year 2000, Eastern Conference semifinals, Knicks Heat 2000. I think that's the one where Van Gundy's holding on to Zoe's leg and everyone's fighting. It was an ugly Tim Hardaway. Yeah. It was just an old school, back when basketball was basically a backyard brawl instead of the beautiful game it is now. That one is very high, and I don't think Matt would throw this one out there, so I will throw this one out there. When Nolan Ryan beat the snot, a 40-year-old Nolan Ryan, basically he hit Robin Yount from the White Sox. Robin Yount charged him out. Nolan Ryan, near 40 or in his 40s, immediately got him in a headlock and just pounded the hell out of 23, 24-year-old Robin Yount very quickly. Robin has a good sense of humor about it. So is Nolan, but that was an all-timer.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of big bench clearing moments.
Well, Pedro.
That was the only one that
Don Zimmer.
Yes, that was the only one that came to mind. Is that Pedro Martinez pushing that 70-year-old Don Zimmer down when he kind of came at him.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Robin Ventura, by the way, not Robin Yount.
Did I say Yount? I'm sorry, Ventura.
You did, but I understood what you meant. Okay, very good. That was a good addition, guys. Nice job. But there can only be one winner, and that winner is Jim Rutledge.
Do I start the streak today, Matt Hamilton? Do I go for 5?
There's no way.
I've already done 5.
There's no way. I wasn't here.
Well, you're not here the next 2 days, so.
Well, I will win one before I go.
Gauntlet dropped. You know what, though? If the gauntlet is dropped on your business, Revive Restoration is someone that can help you get back on your feet.
That's right, because nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive Restoration and the Revive Pros to be professional, efficient, detail-oriented as they make things right again. From things like water damage, smoke, fire, mold, storm damage, and a whole lot more, Revive Restoration has your home covered 24/7, 365 days a year. There's no project too big or too small, so the next time you need help restoring your home or business to 100% working order, Revive Restoration and Revive Pros has your back. About 40 to 50% of businesses don't make it back from an accident. Check out our friend Josh Duggan. He and the Revive Pros team will get your business back on track. Don't be a statistic. Keep your business going. RevivePros.com.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
What's your thing? Are you looking for a new, refreshing, sunny ale to ring in the summer? Or do you want to turn it up with a big, hoppy IPA? No matter the style, Sierra Nevada's Little Things Party Pack has something for everybody. Crack open a couple of IPAs with the original hazy or the big imperial. Then bask in the sunny citrus wheat and wild sour ales. Enjoy 4 styles in 12 cans with Sierra Nevada's Little Things Party Pack today.
Listen to me along with Matt Hamilton every Thursday at 2:45 for your chance to win a case of Sierra Nevada's Little Things Party Pack. The gold medal-worthy variety pack features 4 styles, 12 cans, and endless good times. Whether you like the hoppy IPAs, crisp ales, you'll enjoy anything in this party in a pack. Listen every Thursday at 2:45 for your chance to win some free beer. This month, it's Sierra Nevada's Little Things Party Pack. 2:45 every single Thursday.
Imagine you're looking at a balancing scale with everything you do for other people on one side and everything you do for yourself on the other side. If it isn't balanced, maybe it's time to spend a little more time on you. And therapy is a great place to start. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online who can help you find that balance and stick to it. Visit BetterHelp.com/score to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/score.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I think my battery's dead.
With free battery testing and charging, AutoZone is here to help.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
What if I need a new one?
We have the right batteries right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone.
And what if I don't know how to connect it?
No problem. We have a how-to for you at AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here. Whether I'm inside on the ice curling or outside working up a sweat under the sun, Iron Jock apparel is what keeps me feeling cool and comfortable. The one-of-a-kind Enduratech fabric is designed from the inside out to eliminate odor-causing bacteria. And based in Wisconsin, Iron Jock also created the Enduratech Plus gear to perform both indoors and outdoors. You can go online to ironjock.com and get 25% off your order using code ESPN25. Iron Jock, it's what's inside that matters.
Pick the car deal that is right for you at Metro Ford of Madison. Like 0% APR financing for 66 months on the 22 Ford Mustang. $15.15 per 1,000 borrowed. You'll also receive a Chromebook, 4K Smart TV, or a $500 Visa gift card with purchase at Metro Ford of Madison.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm Vice President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Live from the Everlight Solar Studios, this is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. Alex Strofe behind the glass. Get into the show, 844-770-3776.
Jimmy, did you catch what Matt said today right before we came on the air?
Yeah, you want to share that?
Yeah, he called my girlfriend hot, and I'm not really sure how to feel. Like, thanks, I guess.
Well, you sent me a text this weekend, and I had told you I just got a new phone, and you were in bad service, so they're coming. The texts were coming in random orders.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. Let's set this up the correct way. I got a text from Matt about 11 a.m. Saturday morning, Jimmy.
Yeah.
It said, "What's your couch situation?" And then 90 minutes later, I didn't respond. I got another text from Matt that said, "Do you need a couch?"
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Go on.
So I was trying to, obviously, get rid of some couches.
Okay.
And if you want my couch, you should call in. I will give it to you. And then
will you autograph it?
Sure. So I have no connection, but I do not need a couch. Graduation. Appreciate you though. And then I said,
good response.
LOL. What? I got a new phone, so those came in a weird order. And then he goes, "There's my hot girlfriend at graduation." That's what. I have no connection. I don't think it's your phone. So out of nowhere, and first of all, I haven't even gotten a photo or anything. It just says, "There's my hot girlfriend at graduation." That's what. So it wasn't as out of left field because I had no response. I finally get the photo and then never said a word. So that's why when Alex has been crabby with me today, I thought that I just needed to be like, "Alex, I'm sorry I didn't respond to your photo. Your girlfriend's hot. Is that what you wanted to hear?" So that's how.
All right, that makes more sense. I was really confused.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Matt or Alex, did you guys watch Ted Lasso?
I've watched the first season.
I've never watched an episode.
Why?
I got to be honest, I don't get it.
Because he's being judgmental.
I'm going to tell you how to get it. Here's a great line from Ted Lasso, I think, last weekend. And it's such like a subtle line that's set in it. They're talking about all the guys having practice, 11 on offense, 11 on defense, or 11 on each team,
right.
for the soccer team on the pitch. And one of the coaches turns to Ted Lasso and says, "I haven't seen 22 dudes have this good a time on grass since I saw the Grateful Dead jamming with the Black Crowes and Fish." Like, that's an amazing line that's just worked right in there. And obviously, when I think about grass and think about having a good time, I think about our good friends at Olsen Tune.
That's right. That's because Olsen Tune has been customizing residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. I had Olsen Tune come out and check out my house, and they gave me some advice and ways that they're going to help me get into a way better situation for my outdoor living space. I've got some issues with my landscaping. Olsen Tune is going to help me clean it up and get it back on track, and they can do that for you too. From landscaping to maintenance to irrigation to concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, large or small, Olsen Tune is here to help. Go to olsentune.com and get started on your next project today. That's olsentune.com.
The Milwaukee Bucks have requested permission. This one's intriguing to me. Love thy enemy. What is it? Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies close.
Closer, yeah.
The Milwaukee Bucks have received permission to interview Miami Heat assistant Chris Quinn. And Chris Quinn has interviewed for a couple jobs. The vibe I get is he's turning them down to stay in Miami. Now, Chris Quinn was a player for the Miami Heat when I was down there in Miami. He is very much a part and basically has been raised in that Heat culture. He played for a few other teams but came back to Miami. He's been Eric Spoelstra's lead assistant. And if they were going to hire someone that did not have coaching experience, Chris Quinn could be that guy for me. I mean, he is a guy that's been around that Heat culture. I think the Bucks.
What makes me nervous is we are in a win now mode. Going and taking a chance on a first-time coach makes me nervous. Like, I don't know what the right move is in the Bucks organization. They have done their research. They're more knowledgeable than I am. But I'm thinking, like, we've got Giannis, and there's no guarantee that he's going to be here after this contract's up, in 3 years, 2 years, I think? There's no guarantee that he wants to stay. So we need to do something right now with Giannis that proves to him that we're here to win, and his time here that we're not going to try and spend rebuilding. We're going to try and win around him. As long as he's here, we'll sell the future. And I don't think a new coach or a first-time coach is the safe play. Whether it's the right play or not, I don't know.
I agree with you on that. That's why normally I'm still leaning to Kenny Atkinson, because I think when I think of cultures in the NBA, as far as winning cultures, I think of the Heat, and I can't stand them. But they seem – here's the thing. Forget a culture. You know how they play. They have a set identity. And more than just like their X's and O's, it is who they are. The Warriors have a set identity. I would say the Celtics have that. Even switching out coaches, they still have that identity to them. Is that fair to say? I mean, you guys watch enough NBA. Those three teams stand out to me as teams with identity. To me, what separates a guy from Budenholzer to what, let's say, Kerr is and what the Celtics have and what Spoelstra is, it's not necessarily the X's and O's. I think Spoelstra, his style is not necessarily something that you can't win with. He won a title with it. Coaches win with, we're going to run what we run, and we're going to run it better than everyone else, and because we run it great, then nobody will be able to stop it. There is credence to that. It has won in multiple different sports.
Well, that's how the Bucks won.
Right, but other teams, right, but you can look. That's how McCarthy kind of won too with the Packers. Hey, we're just going to run what we run better than anyone else, and that's how we're going to win. Now, more modern things say you can mix things up, but I like Atkinson because he's coming from a culture in the Warriors. He can kind of pick up some of those things, and he's already viewed as a very good tactician. Nick Nurse, like Budenholzer, was a Spurs. Spurs have a good culture, even though they're not winning right now. Was a Spurs guy.
Yeah, that was the other one I was going to bring up.
Yeah,
and then he did. I mean, not necessarily brought culture along, but he did bring a championship with Kawhi to Toronto.
So he won with a star player, just like the Bucks won with a star player.
Right.
But then Miami, and Quinn is a leap, but he's a guy that's been sought after for a while. Now they have Lee. I think Charles Lee's his name on the staff, but I don't think, to your point, you can sell Giannis and the players and everyone on, we're making major changes, we're just going to promote the assistant.
Right.
Unfair or unfair to Charles, I just worry that is hard to really sell. Christian Manitowoc Waters chimes in. I think that hiring a first-time coach makes all the sense in the world for the Bucks, because that coach would be more inclined to listen to the players and give them more power than a coach with more NBA experience, with those egos.
Interesting. I'm just not sure Giannis is the kind of guy who thinks he knows better. I think he just wants someone who he trusts knows better around him.
I just want them to have a plan.
Yeah.
Like, if they got, for an example, they got Quinn, can you move Middleton for a guy who is more of a vocal leader who's also a good player? Maybe not quite the same player as Middleton, but maybe he's more available than Middleton. For an example here, Drew Holiday I don't think is as good as Chris Middleton, but he's more important to the Bucks because he's been healthier than Chris Middleton the last few years. Drew Holiday is older than Chris Middleton. It does not feel like that.
Right.
One, because of how they play. Middleton doesn't have a lot of margin for error with athleticism. It's kind of a weird – he doesn't rely on athleticism for his game, but because he doesn't have a lot to begin with for NBA standards, the question always is, at some point, does it get too far gone that you can't compete? Now, he's got the height, so he'll always be good, but he's going to get paid like he's great.
Right.
And that's what the Bucks have to kind of figure out. And then could they move that contract for something else? None of that stuff is easy. What is easy, though, is to figure out if you need exterior work done, call your guys at Ridgetop.
That's right. The people over at Ridgetop They're the best. They're the trusted and recommended experts. They consider customer service their number one priority, and they exceed the expectations of the homeowners they serve. They provide the best quality roofs, windows, siding, and doors, and they're expertly installed. So if you need any of those things, the exterior of your house, Ridgetop Exteriors is the people to look at. Right now, too, as well as all the customization that you can do with different materials and options for your project, you can also customize your payment plan from no interest to low interest financing options available. You can go online right now and get a free estimate for your next home project by logging on to ridgetopexteriors.com. That's a free estimate for your next home project at ridgetopexteriors.com. They're the trusted and recommended experts.
Alex Strofe wants to play a game in a second here, but I just got to share this, which has got to be one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. Frank Isola on the Phoenix Suns, he said this on Sirius XM NBA channel, I would not be shocked if, and he means the old one, Isaiah Thomas is the coach of this team. What a disaster that would be. Failed with the Knicks on like every level, on like interpersonal communication / sexist / horrendous coach. It's like, hey, Jason Kidd, awful person and awful coach. Who can we get that's worse than that? Let's go with Isaiah Thomas.
Well, I'm glad you say that, Jim, because I want to wrap up the show after this. I have 8 names that could potentially be tied to the Bucks head coaching job. Now, I don't want yes or no like we typically do.
I want to swipe right, swipe left?
Well, yes, I do want to play Tinder time. But I want to know if it gets you jacked, right? Not just excited, not just like, hey, that's a good hire. Like, that's a freaking great hire.
Okay.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's how I want to analyze this. I've got 8 names. We'll do that next. It's Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Nitty Gritty, home of the award-winning Gritty Burger and the official birthday place. Enjoy a unique list of craft cocktails and craft beer in downtown Madison, Middleton, and Sun Prairie. The Nitty Gritty, a tradition since 1968. Former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr has found his new home and is leading the USFL in tackles. Orr has been a standout for the New Jersey Generals in the USFL for the last 2 seasons. Here's Orr on what the USFL experience has meant to him the last 2 seasons.
It's a lot of fun, man. You're playing a lot of football. That's what you love to do. And you're doing it with guys who love to do it as well. You're doing it with a lot of guys who have been in the same position as you.
You can watch Orr and the Generals take on the Houston Gamblers this Sunday at 3 o'clock on Fox.
Get 0% interest for up to 48 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and have everything installed in as little as a day. Visit PellaWI.com.
Jim Rutledge here to tell you about X Golf Madison, and the most important thing that you need to know is that X Golf Madison is for everyone. Heck, I golf there. Whether you're a seasoned pro, a new golfer, or in between like me, X Golf Madison is going to be fun for you. They have a full bar, excellent service, great food, and the most advanced and accurate golf simulators in the world. You can play one of their 50 courses available, take lessons from a PGA pro, hit the driving range, or even join a league. Stop by their East Madison or Middleton location today, or visit them online at xgolfwisconsin.com.
Gold medalist Matt Hamilton here to tell you about Wisconsin's best choice for roofing, siding, windows, and doors, Ridgetop Exteriors. I know they're the trusted local experts who consider customer service their number one goal, but don't just take my word for it. Jake and Dawn are both recent customers who left 5-star reviews for the outstanding service and quality of work on their projects. Get a free estimate for your home project today by logging on to ridgetopexteriors.com. Visit ridgetopexteriors.com.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors.
There is an amazing, and it's used for Eric Names Open, the SNL skit where they show, and it's Jason Sudeikis and I think Will Forte as the Tesh brothers. I don't think John Tesh actually has a brother, but did you know, Matt Hamilton, that this song has been created by John Tesh of Entertainment Tonight fame, also a little bit of a musician. Do you know who John Tesh is?
No.
Do you know who John Tesh is?
Can't say I do.
How do neither one of you know who John Tesh is? 844-770-3776. Do you know who John Tesh is? He won 6 Emmys.
Tell
and
us
has
you're
4...
older than 40 by texting in.
No. Or tell us.
No.
Or.
Just 38.
Well, no, hold on. Or you could just, I don't know, not be proud of your ignorance. He wrote Round Ball Rock, which is the theme here for NBA and NBC, which is the song that played during Jordan's heyday. This is probably the song most familiar with the NBA. And so if you were at all curious and not judgmental, Matt Hamilton, you would have looked into who wrote this song. And it is John Tesh.
This?
Be curious, not judgmental.
Yeah, that's usually my route. When I hear a song, I think, wow.
Yeah.
I don't care who sings it. I want to know who wrote it.
But there is no words to this song.
Basketball.
So he won 6 Emmys, 4 gold albums, 2 Grammy nominations. And he has an Associated Press award for investigative journalism.
Ooh, that's something Strofe might get into.
But
WBA winner Strofe.
To have 6 Emmys, 2 Grammy nominations, 4 gold albums, and an AP award for investigative reporting, Matt Hamilton just blissful in his ignorance. Daryl in Deerfield chimes in, of course, famous for his Red Rock concerts, John Tesh. That's all.
We ready to run through this list? I got 8 names. You're going to tell me whether or not it excites you?
I would not be excited if John Tesh was a coach.
Now, twist on this game. All 8 names, I want Matt Hamilton to tell me who they are.
He's proud of his ignorance, so he'll be excited.
Yeah.
Let's start with Charles Lee. Who's Charles Lee?
John Tesh dated Oprah.
Cool. Who's Charles Lee? We just talked about him.
I know we just talked about him. I'm going to say he's an assistant coach
for
the Mavericks.
Who did you say?
Charles Lee. Milwaukee Bucks Association.
I said
the Bucks.
Last segment.
I know, but
Educator Adam and Madison chimes in. I don't know musicians. You play a song. I don't really care who the artist is. I know who John Tesh is, and I know he did Round Ball Rock. Thank you, John. Or Adam, excuse me.
Would Charles Lee excite you?
What's
We
your
got to
age,
get through
please?
this quick.
No.
Okay. Jim?
Especially knowing that he's just the assistant coming from within. I think we
no.
gotta go outside.
More because of expectations. That it wouldn't excite me out because it wouldn't excite the
Is
players.
that swipe left?
We're not playing Tinder time. I just want a yes or no here. Matt, who's Ty Lue?
Ty Lue is a name that I should know, and he is someone that I feel like, I don't know, Golden State Warriors assistant? I don't know.
No, former Cavs head coach and Clippers head coach.
And he played in the NBA. He famously was the guy stepped over by Allen Iverson.
Yep, that was
in
Ty
the
Lue.
NBA Finals. He crossed him over, and then he did like the big demonstrative step over Ty Lue. Now Philadelphia lost that series, I think 4-1.
Yeah, and Ty Lue won a championship with LeBron in Cleveland. Would that hire excite you?
Yeah. Yes.
Jimmy?
Absolutely.
Cool. Nick Nurse. Who's Nick Nurse?
Nick Nurse, he definitely won a championship in Toronto.
Nicely
with Kawhi.
done.
So
that's who that is.
That right there definitely helps me out as far as, you want a guy who's done it before. Knows what
absolutely.
He's doing.
Jim, Nick Nurse, would excite you?
He's not my number one, but yes.
This one's going to be a doozy. Becky Hammon. Who's Becky Hammon?
Also is an assistant coach from within the league.
At one point, she was the assistant under Greg Popovich at San Antonio. Just left last year, became the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces in the WNBA, and won the championship.
She's also a legendary basketball player.
Right.
Correct. Would she excite you?
Yeah.
I think
Agreed.
I'd be excited for it. It would definitely be a step, and possibly, and I'm not saying it would be, but there's going to be a lot of eyes on her being the first head coach or female head coach. There'd be a lot of bonus eyes on the Bucks outside of just basketball practices, so to speak, or basketball themes. So I think that would be, I don't know if it would necessarily be a good distraction or a bad distraction.
It's a fair point. Next one I think both of you would be excited about. That's Kenny Atkinson, which Matt is who?
He is a head coach he's the assistant for the Golden State Warriors.
There you go. Yeah.
That's right.
Both of you say yes?
Winning
Yes.
culture, yes.
All right, these are the three.
Literally just repeat it.
Three tricky ones come in here. Monty Williams.
Doesn't he have his own show called Monty? No,
You're
I'm just
calling
kidding.
me old, and you're referencing Montel Williams.
Yeah.
Who is of the same era of John Tesh.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I don't know who that is, so no, I'm not excited.
All right, former Suns head coach was just fired. Doc Rivers, current coach of the 76ers, may get fired. Formerly with the Celtics and the Clippers.
Know who Doc Rivers is? No, I wouldn't be super excited. I love the name and the recognition. I think it would be good for the team, but I don't think he wasn't able to do it with players like Embiid and Harden. I don't know if he's going to be able to come to Milwaukee and do it.
I will say miss. I won't say excited. I won't be upset. Like to point out, one, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton is the spot to go for the Horseshoe Bar, their Sizzle, Swizzle, and Swirl Happy Hour. You need a date night, a business time out, whatever it is you're looking for, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton is the spot. So, Matt Hamilton dunking on me for referencing 70-year-old John Tesh, and then he references 66-year-old Montel Williams. So, hey, fellow old guy, you want to get some Ensure after the show, or do you want to split a Coors Light with me?
Pedialyte and Coors Light combo, baby.
All
Mix
righty.
them up.
Ooh. How would that be?
I don't know. Probably.
I mean, I like both of them separately.
Delicious.
Didn't our friend Sadler mix Coors Light and Gatorade?
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Oh.
Good God.
That sounds terrible.
I'm glad he's still with us. This has been Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
We'll see ya.